and I'm gonna share the screen about something that we're gonna be talking about. So the most important things about the schedule, sometimes it shifts a little bit depending on what the school brings up to me. Sometimes they try to do some changes. It's not quite often, but sometimes it does happen. So then I need to shift the schedule a little bit. How do you learn about that? I send emails and I also advise through the WhatsApp group, right? Especially if it's a last minute. But here I'm gonna share the screen. See how I do it again. More share. No, not there. Share here. So share here. This is the website volleyballclassesnyc.com. This is the first page, right? And then in the bottom, you're gonna find always like last news, what is like happening, and you're always gonna find this link here. Days of the current cycle programs, November and December, updated schedule. So you go there and you click there, you go to the level you are in the location, and you're going to have all the dates and the location, right? So sometimes you might lose track of how many days are still left. You just come here and this is going to be updated always. So I'm also going to share that link with the WhatsApp group afterwards. So if there are any changes, last minute changes, something happens right away on the WhatsApp group. And also we send an email, right? Very important if you can always be at the WhatsApp group. Let me see how I stop this now. No, not like that. Okay, stop share. Very good. Now I'm gonna share the content for the meeting. Right, very straightforward. Let's go. So schedules updated and available at the website. Any change the last minute notifications, also pictures and videos or complimentary work are all shared by the WhatsApp group. Something people are always asking me about, makeups, right? So makeup. So I missed a class, I need a makeup, whatever. So I've been in this business for some time and I have offered many different options for the parents, including like if you cancel 24 hours in advance, you can book a makeup. But that came out of hand. I think the parents started becoming a little bit laid back with that, and that started interfering with the quality of the practices because we do need consistency, and also like bringing a player to a new group in a different time frame. It's very complicated, especially when it's level 3 and level 4. So we don't do that anymore. I'm sorry. I know that would be great, especially if something happens, if your child feels sick or something's going on, right? Unfortunately, that's how we are approaching the program now. So we offer one makeup class per cycle, and that's at the end of the cycle. You will receive a notification, and that doesn't mean it's going to be in the same time frame and location of the current class, right? So I'm sorry. I would love to make it more convenient, but it's not. I couldn't find a better answer for that for now. Levels. So this is another question the parents always ask me. Oh, so completing a cycle doesn't mean that you are moving up to the next cycle. Like, oh, I finished the cycle level 3, now I'm gonna go to level 4. Oh, I did cycle. My child has been in cycle level 3 and has been level 3 for 3 cycles, and why she doesn't go for level 4? So it's very important that the parents understand, and also the players, that every player improves in a different rate. There is a lot to do with discipline and commitment and the work done aside and listening and trying to do their best. There's a lot to do with it. But everyone is different. The progression is different. And also finishing a cycle as level 3 doesn't mean that next cycle you're going to be level 3. All depends on the group of players. Like, especially like you finish a cycle last year as level 3 and then the player haven't been playing, touching the ball, and comes back and wants to be a level 3. The first class, the coaches assess the player's level and define the group. And that depends a lot of who is at the group at that time. Depending, the player can be moved up or down. So the best advice is the player should be practicing always and consistently if this is something that they have passion for, right? I know it's tough and it's rough, but that's sports. This is the first stage for them. Some of the players that are level 3 and level 4 are already part of the school team. Some of them couldn't join the school team at this time. Some of them are part of the school team. Some of them are part of clubs. So, this is going to happen in a way more rough way than happens with us. Sometimes they go to games and they don't even play, or they don't get selected, and that's sports. That's how sport is. Sport high level, that's how it is. There is no way around it. You need to dedicate, you need to train hard, and you need to have luck sometimes, and you need to have a thick skin, or breaks you or makes you. So I know it's tough. All of us want the best for our kids. I'm a mom also, but this is what it is. It's rough, but it's going to prepare them for life, because life is not easy, right? So that's how it goes. Some parents come to me and say, hey, but my child has been level 3 forever. Why doesn't move to level 4? My best advice is go watch a class. If you have the time, just sit down and watch your child. Sometimes you don't know what you don't know because you're not seeing happening. And I'm not there all the time. I have completely trust at the coaches. I have no saying if the player is going to be moved up or down. Only if I see some problems with discipline, I tend to hold them back until they prove that they deserve it. But that's me. But if you are doubting about the coach's decision, I highly recommend to go and watch a practice, and then you're going to understand better. I've seen level 3 girls trying to step in and play with level 4. And there is the emotional aspect of it also. Sometimes they have the technique, but then they get shaken. And, that's the emotional side, and they need to get on top of it also. All right. Very important. Parents understand that practicing once a week is not enough. Every player should be touching the ball at least 3 times a week for results. If it's not only with my group, with other organizations, or if they have friends, if they can practice at home, if they can go outside against a wall, if they can go to a public space and try to, sneak in and play. So the WhatsApp group also can be used for that, right? Trying to adjust some things aside. If not possible, because it's so cold, there is no space, they need to do something. They need to move. They need to move from online workouts to any other sport, to anything you can think of, to running, to cycling, to jumping rope. They need to move. They need to move at least 3 times a week. Everything helps. Reflexes, cardio, everything helps. I know, unfortunately, the reality nowadays with the screen is very complicated. It's different from our time as a child, where we were more on the streets. I understand it's complicated, but as long as you talk to your child and explain that, if they can't understand, I know that when we are parents, they generally don't listen to us. But, I'm always reinforcing that message when I'm present, and I'm asking always the coaches to reinforce that message with the players, right? To leave the screen aside and go practice. I also understand the school is very overwhelming. I understand that. But if you want results, that's the best advice that we can follow through. All right. Levels, what the players are going to be learning on level 3 and level 4, and I'm going to open the space to listen to the expectations from the parents at the end. So what differs a player from level 3 to level 4? So level 3 is when they're defining their positions, right? They're learning what position they're going to play, if it's libero, if it's a setter, if it's an outside hitter, mid blocker, right side hitter, right? That's what they're going to be learning mostly on the level 3. The coach is going to help them understand what is best for them. That's what they want. That's what is best. But at the end, the decision is from the player. They also gonna learn on level 3 the 4-2 rotation. So there are different rotations that you play in volleyball, and some of them are necessary to be able to join school teams or even clubs. So we do that. On level 4, they learn then and practice and refine level 5, rotation 5-1. I don't expect you guys to know this kind of stuff, but just bringing it up. So again, what differs a player from level 3 to level 4? Definitely, if the player knows his position and knows how where to move in the court and where to pass the ball, and has good ball control, has a good overhand head service, good communication skills, good footwork, good presence in the court, right? Like, pay attention, listen to the coach, is respectful, tries your best. The player is ready for level 4. Sometimes the players have technique, understand their placement, all of that, but if no discipline, I'm sorry, it's not going to stick around. The coach is going to ask the player to be moved back to level 3 or even level 2, if that's the case. Again, this is the first level of many levels that are going to come with the schools and clubs, and things get harder out there, even colleges. So things get harder out there. We are not making it easy now, Okay. Tournaments and teams. We already have one tournament scheduled as part of the program. If you're in Astoria in Long Island City, that is going to be a Sunday, right? From 2:30 to 7. That's up on the schedule already. That's when they are going to compete against each other. Going to have medals, trophies, and all of that. We also, besides our own tournaments and leagues, we also form teams, no travel teams, no clubs. I'm reluctant to that because I don't want to charge thousands instead of hundreds. Something you still need to think about. But we do help form teams for local competitions. We are just now finishing with forming the teams for the CYO League. That's a league that happens all over the country, but happens in Queens. And the players, when they're level 3 and level 4, depending on the age that they are and the teams that we are forming, we invite the players to join those teams, right? If it didn't happen at this season, might happen in the next season. What else? Okay. Discipline. This is something complicated, and I'm going to ask you parents, I'm going to tell you what I talked to the coaches about. So discipline, all of us raise our kids in different ways, and all of us have different expectations. I'm old school. I competed at a high level sports since 11 years old, not volleyball. So I'm very old school. If I have something to say, I say it right there, how it is, not offending, but straight to the point. That seems to me that nowadays is not very well accepted, especially in New York State. So why I'm bringing this up, I gave directions to the coaches to act as follows. If the player is not paying attention, is laughing, is not listening, is being disrespectful, to me, this is all disrespectful. Once you step in the court, you should have all focus and be respectful for the coaches. And I always tell the players also, be respectful for the money that the parents invest on them, right? So if that behavior is happening, the player being lazy, right? The player is going to be asked to sit out. The coach is not going to talk much. He's going to say, please, I need you to sit out and take a break. When the coach has the chance, because his priority is the class and the other players, when he has a chance, he's going to approach the player and he's going to communicate with the player aside, right? What's going on, what are his expectations, and why the player was pulled aside. The player is going to be invited to go back in the practice. If behavior doesn't change, coach is going to ask the player to sit out and not to go back to the practice to that day. He's going to reach out to me. He's going to explain what happened, and then I'm going to reach out to the parent and talk about it. If that is not resolved, we are going to ask the player to leave the program for the cycle, or I don't know. That depends on what's going on, right? Why that? Is that too rough? I don't think it's too rough. That's discipline. Again, this is going to get more challenging if the players keep moving ahead with clubs, school, and college. And honestly, if one player is not setting a good example, other players might feel comfortable with that kind of behavior, and that is not acceptable. So, this is how I run the program, and this is what we are going to be focusing. That's how we are going to approach the situation. Towards the coaches, we have different coaches for different locations. Level 3 and level 4, we have in Long Island City's coach Alex Pistel with level 3. This season on level 4 is going to be Coach Shin. And then in Astoria, we are going to have Coach Mariana and Coach Juan. Talvez, maybe Coach Sophie is stepping in also, I'm not sure yet, but these are going to be the coaches. Every coach has a different approach, but we are asking the coaches to have more games during the practices because classes are very comfortable for them. Like you have time to think about your movement and what you're doing. You don't have the stress from a game. You don't get anxious, and everything shifts. Once they play games, everything shifts. So we are definitely implementing more games during this cycle. We already started doing that past cycle, and this cycle we are going to do even more, especially with level 4 and preparing them as teams to compete with the other teams at other locations. So that brings up to the point that I wanted to talk about, that is the expectations. So, and first the expectations and then overall questions, suggestions, or anything else you would like to bring up. So some of you have players that are at the school team. Some of you have players that are competing at the CYO. Some of you have players that are competing at clubs. And I want to hear from you. What are your expectations? I don't mean technique, but would you like them to play more? Would you like them to focus on individual skills? I don't know. If you have any input, please feel free to unmute yourself and, give me your suggestion or expectation, if you have. No? No? Okay. So if that changes, if you feel you want to reach out and say something, you just can. If it's something individual case, you can reach out to me in private and tell me what you're looking for, what are your expectations, right? So it's very clear what I spoke to the coaches, that I definitely want them playing more, and I'm setting up more games and tournaments for them. Any other questions, any other concerns, anything you want to bring it up that I didn't talk or you think is relevant?
Louise, I just have a question about Sunday. There's a tournament. Is it this Sunday?
No, the tournament is gonna be, let me see here, the tournament is gonna be level 3 and level 4, Seja Astoria. December 15th, we will have a tournament from 2:30 to 7 p.m. at Frank Sinatra, when they're going to compete against each other. The teams are going to compete against each other with trophies and medals and all of that. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I did see that. I just wanted to make sure.
Yes.
I'm sorry, can you say that date one more time?
December 15th.
The 15th. Okay. And that's for the level 3 classes also?
Yes. So it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough for level 3 also. Like on Sundays, we have a mix of level 3 and level 4. We are gonna form 2 teams there also. On Long Island City, we have level 3 with 1 court, level 4 with other court. But it's rough, but that's what it is.
Okay, I also have another question.
Sure.
So for the level 3 like practices that are going to be happening, I know they didn't happen this Tuesday because of the election, but when will be the first practice?
Yeah.
Is it tomorrow?
No, the first practice from Tuesday, you mean Long Island City, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, the first practice is gonna be November 12th.
November 12th.
Yeah, next week. So this is what happened. The school gave me the dates. I paid for the permit, confirmed everything, touch bases with them a lot of times, but the schools have a lot of things that they have to deal with. And when I noticed that we would have the election night day, I was like, oh, maybe it's not accurate. I reached out to them also about Halloween. So they ended up giving me the Halloween that I wasn't interested at all. And they took the election day. So that's why I adjusted and I turned into the tournament. So on that day, that's how I added the extra day, because on Long Island City, you paid for 6, 7 sessions. And then as the first week didn't happen last week, you're being added the Sunday of the tournament. without any extra cost.
Okay, so we start next Tuesday, and then the day that got added was the tournament day.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, thank you so
Yes.
much.
You're welcome. I'm sorry for changing things, but it's not easy on my side to deal with
No,
this.
that's perfectly
Yeah.
fine.
Okay.
Also, I have another question.
Sure.
Can you guys teach more individual skills during
During the classes?
the practice, like our practice time?
Yeah. So if you're enrolled for level 3, that's still gonna be focus, right? Level 4, not that much anymore. Level 4, we are focused on making the girls understanding their position and how to play as a team, right? That's very important. But level 3, yes. Now it's very important to understand that if you're level 3, that's an achievement. If you want to stay there and you want to catch up, you really need to do extra work, especially if you're recognizing that you would like more individual technique. That's time, that's the time. Don't miss the boat. Just put effort into it. Repeat things you learn in class. Be curious. Talk to other people. Talk to the coach. Specify to the coach what you're looking for, especially like if you're a setter, right? Like if you're a setter, you need to have those great hands. There are a lot of drills that you can look into YouTube, online also, but we are always sharing content for the WhatsApp group too, for more junior level 1, level 2, for them to upgrade their level. But it's great if you feel like that, and then you can also complement the work with the other levels. Even if you're level 3, you can attend classes with level 2. There is no shame on that. There are some players that do that. They practice Tuesdays and Thursdays, and they complement the Tuesday work with level 3 with the Thursday work with level 2. Level 3, a
Thank
lot of
you.
service also service. This is a recommendation for all the players. You need service. You can be cut off of a school team if you don't have good service, or if you can't serve over the net. So level 3, the players are going to be practicing a lot of services still. Level 4, you're supposed to be able to serve well. Any other questions, concerns, suggestions? Anything your child complains about? Oh my God, practice is so boring. Or when there is something good, like, oh, practice was so good. Like, I know it's hard to get information from them, but if we can communicate, you guys can help me deliver a better program. No? Okay. If anything comes up, just feel free to reach out to me. If it's something private, focus only on your child, please reach out in private. If it's not something only about your child, it's more about the team, feel free to reach out for the WhatsApp group. No, that's it? Yeah? Okay, just to reinforce, the classes are great. It's going to help your child to enter the school team, to enter a club, to, create a great future. Like I keep trying to convince my son to do volleyball, because when he becomes a teenager, I just want other people to invite him to go play at the park or at the beach. I want him far away from bad companies and bad influences. So, I know it's not easy for all of us to manage, to manage their life, manage our lives, manage work, and keep them on track, especially when they're teenagers. So, I appreciate all the work you guys do. I know it's not easy. And if you have any problems, any things that you need help, I know sometimes when they don't listen from the parent and listen from someone else, sometimes it's more helpful, right? Right. So this is it. Thank you very much for your time. I appreciate your time, and please feel free to reach out and join the WhatsApp group.
Thank you, Louise.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.